Hey guys, welcome on in to part 5.
I need an intervention, divine intervention,
Hey there everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video and for choosing me to spend this time with. This is my channel, Once Upon a Nursery, and I am Tamra, head Fruit Loop, top dog, and your host as always. And today is my tag, hashtag T-Roar Thursday, hashtag Tamra Thursday, where I come into your lives and hopefully bring you some kind of comfort, joy, entertainment, motivation, encouragement, smile, happiness, something. I hope I bring some sort of positivity to you. That is the hope anyways for this channel and for myself as well. So, if you have been watching lately, I have been going through the Karen saga, my life with a real Karen. And if you haven't, and if you're new to this channel, I encourage you to go check out my 4 previous videos. I will link them in my description, or at least link part 1, so you can go back to part 1. Part 1 has a link for part 2. Part 2 has a link for part 1 and 2, and so on and so forth. But we are at number 5 today. So let's see how far we can get. I also have some other things for you at the end of this video. So please stick around if you'd like to hear a very interesting story that has nothing to do with Karen, but has to do with me being a Fruit Loop. And also, something else I would like to bring you in today's video is this. My 5 Surprise Mini Baby Series 2 that I will be opening on camera with you today. So let's go ahead and get started with this tale of woe. So the last time we left off, I had been verbally attacked because I moved my dog's water bowl into my room and was told that I could no longer eat any of the food in the house. So at the time, I was receiving commodities. And so I had lots of food that was mine. So I also told her not to touch my commodities as well. So, anyways, she did finally go sit back down, and she went and sat down and she did shut up. And so I'm in the kitchen and I'm just sitting there thinking, and at this point my coffee is heating up. So, because I had some coffee in the coffee pot that had gotten cold. So I'm heating my coffee, forget the popcorn because it's her popcorn. I was waiting for my coffee to heat up, and I went into the living room and I was like, hey, X. I'm not going to say his name, but I was like, hey, X. I was like, you know what? I was like, you guys can use anything that belongs to me. And all of a sudden, I was not talking to her. I was talking to the ex. But they're in the same room. All of a sudden, she's sitting there going, and she's all red and she's like shaking like this whole time. And all of a sudden she's just like, shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Go to your effing room! Go to your effing room! Get the F out of here! Go to your effing room! And I'm like, I said, I am not talking to you. I was like, I am talking to him. So she gets up with her fists balled up and she have to walk around the couch to get to where I was because I was standing behind it. So she starts walking around there with her fists balled up. I'm just like, well, the ex grabs her wrist. He's sitting down. He grabs her wrist and he stops her. And he's like, no. He's like, this is not going to turn into another Paige incident. I don't know who Paige is, and I don't know what the incident is. But that's what he said. He said this was not the same situation. And he said whatever happened this is not the same thing that's going on, is what he told her. So whatever that means. And I looked at her and I was like, bring it, bitch. That's all I said. I was just like, bring it. Like, I'm not scared of you. Come on. Like, you feel like you want to hit me? Go ahead. Go ahead. So he tells me, he's like, can you just go ahead and just go in the other room? He said, please. He's like, she's really upset. I said, I really don't give a shit if she's upset or not. I said, she's been sitting here screaming at me like a banshee. And she's like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. She started again. And he's like, he said, please, please. And I said, I'm warming up my coffee. And she's still telling me to shut up, screaming. And I said, I'm not even talking to her. I said, I'm talking to you. I said, and she's sitting here screaming at me to shut up. I said, I'm talking to you. I can talk to you in my own home if I want to talk to you. I was like, she's the one sitting there going nuts. And I said, and all I was saying is that she can use the coffee maker and things that she needs to. I said, I'm not like her. I said, I'm not going to be petty, because she accused me of being petty. I forgot to mention that in my last video. Because I moved my dog's water bowls into my room, I was being petty. I was being a petty bitch. So, anyways, so I was like, I'm not being petty. I said, I'm not like her. I was like, and I don't do things to get revenge on people. I said, if she needs to use my dishes or my coffee maker, I said, and even though she's sitting there screaming at me to shut up right now, I said, I'm just saying she can continue to use my things because I'm not like her. Anyways, so I finished making my coffee and I went back to my room. It was weird for a while. Okay, so there was another incident that happened, and I cannot remember what it was about, but it was me being in the kitchen, and I asked the ex something, and she started screaming at me. And it was nothing that had anything to do with her or any of her business or anything. She just started screaming at me. And I'm like, and he looks at her and he's like, you need to stop. And she's like, she needs to stop. And he's like, she's not doing anything. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. So I don't remember what that incident was about, but okay, so that was, I would say, about a week after the screaming incident about the water bowl. About a week went by. And then I would say about another week went by. I had eggs in the refrigerator. They were my eggs, not hers, my eggs. And there was 4 eggs left. And the whole reason why I got these eggs was to make cookies. I wanted to make some cookies. And I needed 1 egg for my cookies. And there was 4 eggs left. She takes the carton out of the refrigerator and sets it on the counter. And I'm like, what is she doing with my eggs? And I didn't say anything. I took 1 egg out and I was like, you know what? Fine. If she wants to eat the eggs, she can eat the eggs, but I need 1 for my cookies. So I took an egg out and I put it in a little bowl and I put it in the refrigerator. So it was, okay. Oh yes. I was in my room and I kept fans on because, it was hot. And was it hot outside during this time? I don't know. Anyways, I can't even remember. I think it was in the spring, and I think I did have a fan on. Anyways, she comes up outside my door, and she's talking, and I just ignored her. But she says something about, what happened to the egg? Did you take the egg? And I just ignored her. I didn't say anything at all. And probably about 2 hours later, I went into the kitchen. I was going to go make my cookies. And I had all my stuff set out to make the cookies. All my dry ingredients, my sugar, my flour, my baking powder, baking soda, everything I needed, the vanilla, everything was sitting on the counter. The only thing I needed to grab was basically the egg. And anyways, so I go into the kitchen and my egg is gone. So I ask the ex, I said, hey ex, I was like, have you seen the egg that I set aside? And he was like, what egg? I said, well, I got eggs specifically to make cookies. And I said, for some reason, my eggs were sitting on the counter. And I said, I needed one to make my cookies tonight. And I said, now all the eggs are gone. Well, guess who pops up? Yes, Karen strikes again. Those were not my eggs. I'm an effing bitch. And that I took the egg from her. She had set those eggs out for her and the ex to have eggs. I said, those were not your eggs. I said, they were mine. I said, I really can't believe that you were arguing with me over an egg. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. I was like, ex, I was like, next time you go to the store, I said, can you grab some eggs? And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. She pops off, no, you're not. You are not buying her any eggs. That is not your responsibility, blah, blah, blah. I said, are you going to replace it then? And she's like, well, no. She's like, they weren't your eggs. And I was like, yeah, actually they were. Anyways, and he says, the ex says, would you both stop? And I said, yeah. Sure. I said, I don't have anything else to say. I was just wondering where my egg went. And so I proceeded to start putting everything away, measuring spoons, bowl, all the ingredients, you know, because I didn't want to leave them sitting on the counter. And she is carrying on. She is still in there yelling in the living room. And I mean, it's just like a big open door, like an archway that separates the rooms. Like it's almost one big giant room, pretty much. And he tells her again, you need to stop. And he's like, she goes, she needs to stop. And he's like, she's not doing anything. She's not even talking. So I finished putting my stuff away. They end up getting into it. And I can hear her in there screaming at him about me. And he's basically saying, she's not even doing anything. She's not even in the room, you know. So there was a few moments where he did defend me. But it wasn't some great, huge thing. I know that they got into a couple of arguments because he told her to leave me alone. And she ended up blowing up at him for it. So, about 2 months goes by. And one day, I get a knock on my bedroom door. And I'm going to stop right there for today because it has been 15 minutes or so, around 15 minutes since I started this video. I don't like to make my videos too long. I have another story to tell you and I want to open my baby. So I'm going to stop with the Karen saga for right now, and I will continue on with a part 6 next week. It's about to get even better. Or worse, I should say. It's about to get even worse. This is just the tip of the iceberg that I had to deal with on a daily basis. So, that's the end of the Karen story for today. Now, I gotta tell you guys what I did on Saturday. So, my sister and I had gone to church, and we came back, and we were going to go vacuum out her car because we had a couple trips coming up that we were going to be going to go see my brother and a couple of appointments, blah, 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 blah. So she wanted to have the car vacuumed out for this, and I told her I'd help her. So we were leaving to go vacuum out her car. I'm on the top step of the porch, and there's 4 steps that go down, and my foot slipped, my left foot. And when I landed on the bottom step. My right leg was still up on the 2nd step, and my other leg was out in front of me. I almost did the splits. I scraped my toe, my ankle, and my knee on my right leg. And then on the left, you probably can't see it on camera, but I have a scrape on my hand, and then I have a bruise right here on my arm. Can you see? I don't think you guys can see that. I think the lighting is too much. Anyways, I also have a knot about that big on my butthole. And my booty, my left butt cheek, is slowly turning black. Or a deep, deep, deep purple. It's bad. Like, it's bad. Oh my gosh. I put ice on it. I took ibuprofen. My sister's a medical professional, so I mean, I had medical help right there. Nothing is broken, nothing is sprained, nothing is strained. It is simply a contusion. It is a bruise. That is all that it is. But there's a knot. A huge knot. And whenever I sit down, I feel like I'm sitting on a cantaloupe. And it hurts like so bad. I'm telling you, the bruise is at least 8 to 10 inches across. And it's about I'd say 4 to 6 inches wide right now. And it's getting worse because right now the bruise is like below the knot. So I think when the contusion catches up with the knot area, or the, however you want to say that, the coloring catches up with the contusion, I think my whole left butt cheek is going to be purple, pretty sure. It's very, very hard to sit down right now. Like, very hard. And I can't show you guys pictures because of where it's at on my body. So I've shown my besties. They sent some pictures to my group chat. Besties, tell them how bad it is. Anyways, so yes, I fell. And I laughed like because my sister was like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" You know, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I get up, we go to the car wash, we vacuum out her car, and we get back in, you know, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I was like, "I feel fine." I was like, "Of course, I hurt a little bit." So we get back home, and I start making myself some dinner, and all of a sudden, I just got like this pain. Like the nerve endings were aggravated, so I had like this burning, like stinging sensation on my whole butt cheek. And I was like, "Do you have some ice or an ice pack?" That's what I said. "Do you have an ice pack?" She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I need an ice pack." I was like, "My butt is burning." So but yeah. Anyways, but like right after it happened, like on the way to the car wash, I laughed like the entire way there, and my sister's laughing with me. She's like, "It's not funny." I was like, "But it is though." I was like, I was on the top step in the middle of a sentence. I said, and then all of a sudden I was on the bottom step, and I was on the top step in the middle of a sentence, and then I was on the bottom step, and I didn't even know what I was saying. I was like, I got down the steps so fast. Like, it was fast. Anyways, I'm all right. So I bounced. I've got all of my weight leaned over on my right side, so I don't put any pressure on the left because it hurts so bad. So bad. Like, you have no idea. Anyways, so that was my accident. It was really funny. I mean, it wasn't, but it is. I'll keep you guys updated. All right, so yesterday, well, it's not going to be yesterday now because we're still watching this on a Thursday, but Sunday when I went to go see my brother, we were talking, words would be good here. My brother buys things from antique stores and things like that, and he gets the value of these things, and then he will resell them on eBay. And I can't remember which. That's just what he does as a, like, for fun, I guess. Anyways, so we were talking about the different things. One of the things we were talking about was Zuru, and him and his girlfriend have been collecting a different one of these. His girlfriend is collecting the plants, and he's collecting I don't know. Hey, Tommy, if you're watching this, can you put down in the comments what it is that you're collecting from Zuru? Because I can't remember what you said it was. But anyway, so we had this conversation and I told him, oh yeah, I have one of the 5 surprise babies. I was like, and I want another one like so bad. I was like, we're going to Target. And I was like, we should go look at Target and see if they have any. I said, because I want a series 2. I said, they don't have any series 2 in McAllister. Series 2. So anyways, yeah, when we found them, he was like, I'll buy you one. And I was like, really? And I was like, you don't have to. And he's like, nah. He's like, pick one out, I'll get you one. So I ended up shaking all of them. I got the one that didn't shake as much. And you have a chance of getting twins. You have the possibility of getting twins. So I grabbed the one that didn't shake as much, hoping that possibly there is twins in here. So let's go ahead and let's get this thing open so I can see what's in here, because I am dying to know what is in this. So that's how I ended up getting a series 2 of the Zuru babies. So thank you, Tommy. I love you. Anyways, why is this doing this? This is just not wanting to cooperate with me. It knows how badly I want in here. And I need to hurry up. I need to get this video edited because I'm going out of town for the next 2 days. And I will not have time to edit a video. So I really need to get this done today, and so I can get it edited today. There's our ball. So, all right. I don't think there's 2 babies in here. It doesn't look like it. So, let's see what's in the first little packet. Okay, we have, oh, I think I got the little, like, pediatrician table thing. We have the little diaper. We have a stethoscope, which is pretty fitting since my sister is in the medical field. We have a measuring tape. Isn't that cute? And then we have the little thing that goes on the table. Like the little, you know, puffy thing. Foam. Okay. And then this one. This is the baby. Ooh! This is the baby. These are not anatomically correct babies, so you're not seeing anything. But here's the little baby. Oh, it's so cute. Little baby. I'll have to find a name for this little one. I have one more of these that my friend Lucy at Lucy Zoo Crew got for me. So, it's a little weighing station, basically. This is really easy to put together. So, here we go. That's what we got. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed opening that and seeing my little baby. My little baby. Anyways, this one, I might make this one a boy since I have a girl of this. And I don't know when I'll be getting another one. So I would love to have a boy and a girl, and since they're not anatomically correct, it doesn't matter. They can be whatever I want them to be. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna make this one a boy. I wish they came with a little blanket or something, like all of them, but there's no blanket. Anyways, so I will have to come up with the name for this little one. So this is what, baby number 85 for me. I do count these as part of my collection because they are silicone, and yeah, I count these as part of my collection. So, number 85. All right, thank you, Tommy. I love you. Thank you so much for the little baby. I had so much fun with you on Sunday. Okay, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed another installment of the Karen Saga. I hope you enjoyed hearing about me falling down the stairs, and I hope you enjoyed me opening my 5 surprise baby. I enjoyed sharing that with you. So please consider hitting that like and subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell so that you will be notified every time I upload a video. Comments and sharing are always welcome. And please be sure to check out my shorts right here on YouTube, as well as my remixed reels over on Instagram, and I will leave a link to my Instagram in my description. That being said, I love you guys so very, very much. I hope that you all are doing really, really good. And I hope that you will all check out my first 4 parts to this video. Okay, guys, I love you. I will see you next week. And also, if you're enjoying my videos, why don't you go ahead and click on that link right up there, and let's continue this fun. Yay! Bye, guys!